description. We didn't get anything for him. Shoot. That's okay. That's okay. And this is Vimalasara. One more minute. Okay, that description right there is for Vimalasara, where it says break the vicious cycle, Kirsten. If you don't see it, it's in the wrong spot, but I'll cut and paste real quick. Okay. Oops, no, that's not the right spot. Okay. Introduce Kazi as Kazi Torre. Habari Gani, what is the news? Today's word is, and remember, as we've been doing all week, I say, and then repeat after me, call and response. Habari Gani, today you say, Nia. Nia means purpose. We have a wonderful lineup for you today. We're so glad to get through some wonderful times during the pandemic uprising of 2020, bringing our family together, bringing us unified together. We went through Umoja, we went through Kujichagulia, Ujima, and Ujamaa. Today, with the Nia, we're thankful, Asante Sana, for coming. Habari Asubuhi for those in one coast. Habari Manchana, good afternoon for those of you on another coast. And we are glad that you've spent your day with your family, hopefully teaching them some of the things you've learned this week, allowing your chakras and your body and your spirit to open up to something new if you've never done Kwanzaa before. And for those of you that have done Kwanzaa, reaching out to those that may be isolated in their homes alone in this box, right? Let's see, the box that I have. I'm trying to keep my fingers in here. The box that keeps us not connected with each other. So I'm grateful that even though we have these boxes, for those of you that have done Kwanzaa, you're reaching out to someone to say Habari Gani, or to teach them something that you've learned, or to share with them, or share a gift of Zawadi if you've made your gifts, like we've asked and given you ideas about. We are so grateful to not only experience this and hearing this music, if you can hear it in the background, of a blessed time to prepare for, to be present in the moment, right? Because although there's been some suffering, and those of us that have had to pass, in the African diaspora, we've passed more than anyone else, we can still bring a moment every day in 2021 with a strategy of collective activity where we will be able to transform this bubble as we have in these boxes and be able to see each other again, plan with each other again, live with each other again. I'm not sure if the music is there, and it's okay if it's not, but I do want it to be known that this welcome for you in the way that we do. Fanga alafia, ashe, ashe. Fanga alafia, ashe, ashe. Welcome, how are you? Ashe, ashe. Welcome, how are you? Ashe, ashe. And so with that, I'm going to introduce how we're going to begin our show today. Every day we've had maybe a meditation specialist or yoga or chakra, wonderful places to just get us grounded, to level us in to taking and receiving the messages. And so without further ado, I'm thankful to have this mindfulness practitioner, Vilma Lasara, who has written books, and we'll put her ticker right here and here, some of the books that she's written. Vilma Lasara, hey, welcome. Asante Sana for coming. We are so grateful for the work that you do, not only as a mindfulness practitioner here in the United States, but in England and in Canada, where you are now. It gives me honor because you've come to our East Bay Meditation Center and taught me some wonderful things that I love in ancestral, just thanking all our ancestors. Most people think that it's just the Buddhist meditation and just concentrate on one thing, and the beauty of the Buddha and the beauty of knowing how, so many things I've learned from you. So I don't want to go on with that, but I do want to say that even with the 7-day healing and all the many things that you've done, I know daily you're on conference calls. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having this time. Please go to the PayPal that you see in the chat. We'll put it into the YouTube afterwards. But please get yourself ready for a most powerful way to keep your everyday during Kwanzaa, but throughout the year. Thank you, Vilma Lasara. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so Harrier, I'm a bit dyslexic, but Harrier Agambi, Nia, we are focusing on Nia, and I thought that it would be very lovely to firstly start with a meditation, which resonates with the meaning of Nia, which resonates with the meaning of purpose. And we know that one of the purposes is to focus on our community. Yeah, focus on our community, on people and our family. So we're going to do a meditation which is going to focus on our community and our family. But first, we will begin with ourselves. So I'm going to ring a bell. And we as African people know what it's like to be grounded. We know we are in our thighs, in our legs, in our butts. So just have that sense of allowing yourself to be completely grounded in that root chakra and having the sense of your strong limbs. Yeah, your strong limbs. And just allow yourself to drop into the earth that supports us. Just know that we are always supported by the earth. So even if your feet are on the floor or your hands are on your lap, we are connected to earth. The floor comes from earth. The body comes from earth. And have the sense of being supported by earth. Yeah. Giving thanks to earth. And also just having the sense of being supported by the wind element, air. Without the wind element, we wouldn't be here, breathing in and out. And of course, giving thanks to the heat element, fire. Without the heat element, we would not be here either too. So connecting to the heat in the body. And of course, the water element. Again, the fluid in the body. We are water, we are earth, we are fire, we are wind. So surrendering to the space element. And inviting you to place a hand upon your heart. So we're going to have the sense of the mind dropping into the heart. Mind dropping into the heart. Yeah. When we're disconnected, the heart or the mind has pushed the heart out. And mind, heart is one, not separate. To have the sense of the mind dropping into the heart and the body dropping onto your meditation spot, and the meditation spot being supported by the earth element. And now with the wind element, having the sense of breathing in and out through the heart. Really see if you can feel the heart pulsing, breathing in and out through the heart, and connecting to the fire element, feeling the heat of your own hand upon the breast, upon the heart, and connecting to that water element, just knowing that blood is pumping through the heart, through the body. This hand is giving you kindness, so breathing in kindness, and allow yourself to receive this kindness. And as you breathe out, breathing out kindness to your family, chosen family, biological family, adopted family, chosen family, whatever family is for you. So together we breathe in kindness, and as we breathe out, having a sense of breathing out kindness towards your chosen family. And really see if you can touch into the felt sense of breathing in kindness. So again, breathing in kindness, and as you release, having a sense of radiating kindness out to your chosen family. And perhaps have a smile on your face. Have the sense of the heart opening as you breathe in kindness and breathe out kindness. And allow the inhale to soothe you, heal you, soothe you, heal you, soothe you, heal you. Yes, as you have the sense of breathing in kindness, know that you are healing yourself. And it's from that place of healing ourselves that we send out warmth and kindness to our chosen family. So again, having a sense of the in-breath, soothing you, soothe you, heal you, soothe you, heal you. This kindness and warmth is boundless. Our purpose is boundless. So having a sense of this time as you breathe in the kindness and warmth, radiating it out into your community, having a sense of breathing in kindness, and as you breathe out, radiating the kindness towards your whole community. How does it feel to have the potency of breathing in kindness and sharing this kindness with family and with community. It's a special gift to be able to breathe in and radiate kindness out to our chosen family and to our community. Breathing in, breathing out. And perhaps releasing your hands and having your hands open, just open like this on your lap. The sense of offering this kindness and warmth to all beings. We are interconnected, and having the sense of sharing this kindness and warmth to all beings. Homia takwase for all my relations. We are interconnected. My heart is connected with yours. As I breathe in to each and every one of your hearts right now. And I feel the softness as I breathe in. As I breathe in, I'm breathing in your kindness. And as I breathe out the kindness back into you. It is cyclical. Nothing is born and nothing dies. There is no end. There is no beginning. Just flow. Allowing this kindness and warmth to flow between us. Soothe you. Heal you. Soothe you. Heal you. Soothe you. Heal you. Having a sense of your whole, beautiful, unique body filled with kindness and warmth, allowing your heart mind to expand into the whole body, experiencing this kindness and warmth running through your veins, pulsing through your heart, and connecting to the earth element. Yes. Breathing in kindness and warmth from the earth. Breathing in kindness and warmth from fire. Breathing in kindness and warmth from water. Breathing in kindness and warmth from the wind element. Receive, receive, receive from the ancestors. Calling in the ancestors and receiving their kindness and warmth. Yes. Calling in the ancestors. Tapping the left shoulder for the female ancestors. Tapping the right shoulder for the male ancestors. And tapping in between for the gender fluid, non-binary ancestors. They are all there to support us. allowing your body to be filled with the warmth and kindness of our ancestors, so we can stand tall on their shoulders and fulfill the purpose of Nia, so that we can benefit our family, our communities.
So
Ashe.
grateful. Feel free now to, we'll have you to discuss what Nia means to you. What does purpose mean?
Ashe. Thank you. Yes, when I think of Nia and I think of purpose, the first thing that came to me was unity. How important our purpose is unity. And we know through colonization, through slavery, we were divided. It's crazy. I grew up in England, and it was like the Africans, the ones who came directly from Africa, were inferior, and the ones who were taken to the Caribbean were seen as superior, and then the Africans who came directly from the continent saw the Caribbeans as inferior, and the Africans saw themselves as superior. And so we need unity. We need unity. We need to come together from all over the diaspora. We need to come together to support each other. Yes. Sometimes I think, why is it that the Asian communities take care of each other? When are we, as African descent people, going to take care of each other? We need to begin to take care of each other. And now we have this internet. Nobody can get in our ways. Let's begin to build what we have. There are communities out there, but let's build on those communities so we can come together and build a successful future for our Black community. Yes, I am here speaking to you today because of people like Harriet Tubman. That's why I'm here. I'm here today because of people like Malcolm X. I'm here today because of people like Martin Luther King, because of people like Nelson Mandela. They left a legacy for me. We still do not have total freedom. Yeah. And so those of us here, we have to benefit our community. It's not about us having the designer clothes or the best car or the fat wage packet. If we do have the fat wage packet, great. Share. When we give gifts, this is the distribution of wealth in our community. So if we do have the fat wage packet and we can afford the designer clothes and the cars, then share this gift into our community, because there are many people in our community who have very little, who are struggling to pay the rent, who are struggling to live. This is our purpose. Our purpose is to live a legacy, so those who are unborn, or those who are just children, those who are teenagers, adolescents in their 20s, have something to expand from. We must leave our legacy. This is our purpose. Don't let systemic racism, don't let institutional racism, don't let historical trauma, don't let persistent trauma, don't let institutional trauma stop us in our tracks. Our purpose is that we must reclaim our wisdom. We must return. We must return to our indigeneity. Yes, many of us who are of African descent, we are stateless indigenous people, and we must reclaim our indigeneity and reclaim our pride, reclaim our dignity. Our purpose is to set the personal goals so that if we are healed, if we do the individual healing, we can be the fourth sight in the community. If we do the individual healing, people in our community can look at us and think, I want to be like you. I want to be like this person. So be aware of how you walk the streets. Be aware of how you walk the streets. Be aware of how you carry yourself in the world, because this is the legacy we are leaving. Nia is our purpose. Nia is our purpose. Our purpose is to benefit our community, our families, our people. I dedicate my life to the uplift of African peoples. This is my purpose, Nia. Ahomia takwase for all my relations. Ashe.
There was an article in the New York Times on Lorraine.
We're going to now, Ashe, Hamatakulase. We will now be going to the Kwanzaa table. At the Kwanzaa table, as you all can hear, we're going to have Nina Simone just to bring us into that mood.
I have seen many times before.
So, listen up. We'll see the Kwanzaa table in front of you. And please get ready now for our ceremony at the Kwanzaa table.
And in her eyes, this will sound very strange, but not to people who are really hip. She kept trying to tell me something. I was sitting on the bed. And I remember distinctly saying, I would keep looking at the picture and keep looking at the picture. And of course, the memory of being with her many times kept flooding back in my memory. But I said, and I remember, inspiration is a very strange thing. Sometimes it just happens like a light. And I remember getting a feeling in my body. And I said, that's it. To be young, gifted, and black. That's all. And sat down at the piano at that moment and made up a tune. And it just flowed out of me. I knew what I wanted it to say in essence, but I couldn't get the words together. So I called up my musical director and told him what was on my mind, explained to him a little bit about Lorraine Hansberry because he didn't know her. And he captured the mood, and the song was born less than 2 days later. And that's been less than a month ago. So I really think that she gave it to me. That's what I mean when I say that. To be young, gifted, and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted, and black. Open your heart to what I mean. You shouldn't leave now. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted, and black. And that's a fact. You are young, gifted and black. We must begin to tell how young. There's a world of girls waiting for you. Yours is the quest that's just begun. So when you're feeling depressed, alienated, and real low, there's a breakthrough that you should
Umoja. Say Umoja.
be
Ujitakulia.
gifted and black.
Ujitakulia.
Don't
Ujima.
you
Ujamaa.
forget your soul is
Nia.
black. Oh, I'm feeling good now.
The libation,
Yes,
the
yes,
earth,
yes.
nature, allowing things to be watered and planted. Water is the source of everything that
Let's
we need,
confuse this
even
song,
now,
but it meant the
actually.
same thing.
The Makeka is the foundation our Mother Africa has planted us. No matter how many times we've gone through colonialization and
Still live on the
slavery
very
and
same
things
thing they
against us,
used to
we
have a
always
party
have the
on.
mat, the Makeka, the foundation.
They killed it because you smoked pot. Really?
The
They killed
Mazoa,
her.
the fruits of our harvest.
Now, of course, so
All
many
those things that are
people.
planted, not just Walmart and Kmart and Amazon, but the fruit of harvest ones we will plant, like our ancestors, like the lands that we've come from in Africa, in the motherland, and in this country that we've left in our families in the South, our
By the way,
grandparents
this
in
is
the
the black
hills,
orchid
Mazoa.
given to me last night. Wait. Which Jersey City? But the black
Kikombe cha
so
umoja.
and I preserved it until tonight so you could see it.
We all should drink when these candles are lit, bring our families together. Unity cup, kikombe cha umoja. Unity, umoja, kikombe.
Baby, this is the last one.
Statues of our ancestors, bringing back who we are, the significance of when we buy the statue.
Oh, how I long to know the truth.
Zawadi gifts of not
There
only books,
were
the things that
times
we've made
when
for our
I look
family,
back
teddy bears and
and I
clothing
am
and
haunted
anything that
by
brings about not purchasing
you.
from others, but giving
But
something
my
from themselves. Without the
goal
money, without the stimulus checks, without the
today
money that we make, giving
is
from the
that we
heart.
can all
Zawadi,
be proud to say to be young, gifted and black. Hey, is where
Muhindi,
it's at.
every single has one, even if you don't have children. Everyone is responsible for Muhindi poor. And if you have 2 children, 3, you put that number. Ashe. If you know anything about Nina Simone, you know she lived a purposeful life. A life to many in the States sometimes was golden and appreciated, but she lived from the resilience of who she is, who she knew she was, from the strength of her ancestors, from the strength of knowing she had a purpose to gift us in knowing that we were young, gifted, and Black, that we had a purpose. And when she wasn't appreciated, she went to another country. As the song says, we must know who we are. And I'm grateful. Thank you for supporting me and my son as we have changed the the candle, as we light the candles per day. But I'm grateful to include young people, and I hope you include your sons and daughters. Even when you think they know all of the information you've taught them, they have to be reminded again as teenagers, and they'll have to be reminded again when they're in their older years as well. That's what we do. That's what we should do. And we're never too old to be reminded. And so on that note of always being never too young to be reminded, I was 17 when I met this next speaker. I think it was 17, 18. I was a young college student, 18, 19, actually. I was back in Boston, Massachusetts. Diligently knew I had to work for Mamiya because of what happened to my mother in Boston. She didn't want me to go to college there because she was beat down by 6 cops when she was pregnant with me, put in jail for speaking out on the Northeastern radio station. And I was under, thank goodness, one of Mamiya's friends. Mamiya was in Philadelphia. This next speaker was our Baba, who not only was a political prisoner, but he kept us active. You know, when I told you how I have to get on my son, even with the principles for the candle, and that he forgets he's been doing most of his life. This next speaker kept us in regimen. Always we were working out and doing miles and martial arts and touring different political educational videos and dialogues in college campuses. Almost all of them. And then being in the community, knowing that we needed to reach the people to talk about Mamiya. And not just Mamiya, but Leonard Peltier, the political, Puerto Rican political prisoners. So, you know, I'm still not old enough to be reprimanded by my elders at 52. I am still in awe of those I've learned from because they've done something I haven't. I can learn all the things I've learned in books and colleges and Paulo Freire books and doing the works in nonprofit, but I still respect those that taught me diligence. Something this one taught me, and I'm going to say this because we're going to go back to this conversation of AORs, areas of responsibility. And I still is what I teach and love to hear, to talk about when I talk to Black Lives Matter or anyone. What is the AORs? What is your area of responsibility? It's about what Mamiya said, the collective consciousness. Knowing not just from the nonprofits I worked in the daytime, but at night when we sat together and had to read diligently from books to really know this work. Not from the ways that businesses built it. So without further ado, I ask for us to have Kazi Toure come on. Welcome, Kazi.
How you doing, sister?
Hey, I'll be so glad to have you, always.
I was happy to be here. I hope the sound is okay.
Yes.
Yours is kind of choppy.
You sound
Okay.
great.
Good, good, good.
So
Okay.
tell us, we want you to tell us about yourself and share with us. We'll have a little bit of dialogue, but I want you to feel comfortable to have this floor in
Uh,
purpose.
okay. Thank you. Um, okay. About me. Um,
Mhm.
I'm a former political prisoner, but before I start, I want to just recognize, the land. I like the meditation that you did. What's the sister's name?
Villa Masara.
Philip Massara. Yeah, I really like that. I really like that meditation. She took me someplace, and that was a good grounding. Also, I like to, recognize the land that we stand
Mm,
upon here. I'm uh, up in Boston area, and
mm,
recognizing, our Red Sleeve sister, Red Sleeve brother, and the Mashpee, and
Ashe.
Wampanoag in this area.
Ashe.
Um,
I want to recognize Olaney Land. Thank you, because I have not been doing that every night. Thank you, Olaney Land here in Oakland, in this Bay Area.
yes. Um, and about me, I'm a former political prisoner, uh, and uh, I was locked up for a seditious conspiracy, continuing the struggle of our people, and I feel like that's our purpose here. And one of our purposes, anyways, is in the year 2021 would be, uh, the struggle of our ancestors, like the sister was talking about, uh, since they brought us here in the bottom of them ships, to continue that struggle for freedom, uh, learn as much as we can about the land, about the people, about technology, about everything. I mean, we should try to strive to leave this space better than it was when we arrived in it. Even even so, another one of our purposes is to unite, as you was talking about, is unite us with as many people, many struggles as we can. Link those struggles up, to link up to to imperialism and capitalism. Um, I don't want to, sound rhetorical or anything, but it is a capitalist system, and uh, I don't think you can find anything in it that has been benefiting African people, new African people. So, um, I mean, it's been 155 years since slavery ended, and 143 years since Reconstruction, and we still haven't, you know, as many black people as, and nobody is accountable for it. And the prisons are filled with new African people, Puerto Rican people, poor white people. Uh, so, I don't see any way that people can live, continue to live with these people killing us the way they are. So we need to get with it, just like you were talking about earlier, and Mamiya was talking about, and the sister was talking about, and uniting with as many people as we can, as many conscious people that recognize what's going on and what has been going on. Um, yeah, I don't know where Lita went, but I thought we were going to have a dialogue. Um, I don't really have that much more to add to it, Lita. Um, I grew up in this country, and I watched uh, my people struggling, my mother struggling to put food on the table, and When we tried to address some of the issues in the 60s and whatnot, we were told that, it takes time to eradicate racism. It takes time. Well, how much time? I mean, it's been 143 years. And if they haven't been able to figure out a way for us to live together, we should separate. We need to go back and just separate and have our own space, develop ourselves in our own land, and get back to being African, you know, and lose this paradigm of European paradigm. It's not one that goes good with Africa. So, Lee,
You're so
hmm
yeah. You're so right, Kazi. The first night we wanted people to know we say the words imperialism that we're against and capitalism that we're against, and we say the words of what's happened because of patriarchy and what's happening. We don't talk about politics and in this world, Republican, Democratic, on this platform. So we want you to know you are free to bring all the knowledge, which is why we are showing political prisoners, because it's been so much information in our movements on the political sphere, as if that is Black liberation, and there is a difference. And so thank you for making those distinctions again.
you're welcome.
And
You're
I
welcome.
want to hear more on what you were saying. I love what you said for purpose. But yeah, we need to come together. And you said we need our own land and we need our own vitality like we had in community. Please say more. I would love to hear that.
Well, it's
Or
like
questions either.
there's a lot of groups doing a lot of different work um, around the country. That's because there's a lot of oppression, right? And people can't live.
Mhm.
But we have to bring I think we're gonna have to bring people together under an umbrella and move on one issue at a time. You
Yeah.
know, to accomplish. And once we move on all together, one issue at a time, maybe we'll start getting somewhere. Because we've been attacking it all sides, for a long
Right.
time, and it seems like we're still spinning.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when we come together in this convening, I'm hoping 2021 brings, we can sit down and hear from people, elders like you, and those like Daruba, who was supposed to be here today, and Jihad, who runs the um, Jericho, about
Mhm.
what is necessary, about how we all want these things, but what we need to do is prioritize. And that's the collective consciousness. Yeah, I think you and
Do that.
I don't know if you can hear me. I hear
Yeah,
a lot of feedback.
it's scratchy, but I can hear you. And
Okay.
that's right. That collective consciousness, you know, um, and moving as one. When I was in South Africa, I was at the Truth and Reconciliation here. I mean, yeah, with Bishop.
Mm,
We're trying to do some of that same thing here uh, in the United States next year. Next October, we're trying to have our own, in the spirit of Mandela, um,
yes.
Truth and Reconciliation. They allowed all the people who were incarcerated during apartheid years and that committed crimes to be freed. And that was a good gesture. And the same thing should happen here. We have people that's been in jail 43, 36.
Mm,
Sundiata is still locked up. He's 83 years old. He contracted,
yes.
COVID while he was inside. And we have, there's no way people can socially distance inside. That's impossible, you
Yeah.
know. And
Hmm.
all those people did not receive a death sentence. And that's what COVID is mounting to for a lot of people. You know, even if
Yes.
they don't
I'm so
die.
I'm, I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, I gave statistics about how many people have been in prison, but you brought up Sundiata.
Mhm.
And, I think, like you're saying, and I'm glad you mentioned how you were at the conference in South Africa.
Mhm.
Can you tell us more about Sundiata, but also about the conference?
Well, yeah, Sunni, a lot of people know about Asada, you know, all powerful
Mhm.
people, and we're glad she's free. But they don't know Sunni Bandit, and he's been down since 1972. And
Right.
he's 83 years old, mathematician, and he contracted COVID and survived, and we're glad, happy for that. But at least, and it should be out, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, all be free, and that's what we're pushing for: the recognition of political prisoners next October, and hopefully we can get free them all.
What in October, so you're saying that's a goal that we can tell people about. When we're having people watch every day and just having them to do Kwanzaa, we want them to do action steps. We want them to be involved. So tell us more on how they can support what's going to happen in October. Every home on this video should be doing something. What's that?
Yeah,
What is it?
they can. People can go to the Jericho webpage, and
I'll put it in the
contact us
chat.
there.
Uh-oh. I think your sound, we're losing your sound.
Now,
Can we hear?
no, not really. Can you hear me?
A little bit, yeah. If you can start over from where you said the Jericho movement, the Jericho website. Yeah.
Yeah, it's uh
And,
Jericho
and
movement.
I put it in the chat.
Okay, Ja, come put it in the chat. All right, Lead,
It's
I don't know
the
what's
Jericho
the sound.
movement.com.
Yeah, Jericho movement.
I put it on the YouTube chat.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yes, it's in the
thanks.
yeah, it's www.thejerichomovement.com.
Okay, the other thing is, yeah, we're gonna also having um, a seminar on We Are Our Own Liberators. Jalil's book, he'll be teaching that book uh, on February 9th. We're going to start that class. So just like you were talking about before, people will be able to sign up for the class, and we'll sit down and read that book, and we'll go through it page by page and have good conversations and, build, keep building. Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll put that link in there when we get that, so people can see that later on. So yeah, feel free to share that with me later. I'll make sure to post that.
Okay. I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Okay. So with the conference that happened in South Africa, and I know it was for those of you that have not heard about it, it was it was so important, first of all, that you were a part of that delegation. Tell us more about what you learned, who was there, and why they were fighting. And there was so much that was going on when it came to social change, but
Yeah.
liberation.
I mean, that the conference was really enlightening in a way because I sat through 5, 6 days of testimony given by African people about what happened to them, all the atrocities and whatnot. And they were asked at the end of each testimony what they wanted the government to do to the people who hurt them and harmed them and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I sat with a mother and her 2 sons, who her husband was killed. He was a school teacher, much like Steve Biko was, and every bone in his
Yeah.
body was broke by them fascist cops. And and I asked them what they were going to testify to in the afternoon. We were having lunch, and they said that we want to know why they had to do what they did to us.
Wow.
And that was all. I mean, that's all they wanted to know was why the people had to act the way they did, why they had to treat them the way they did, because there's enough natural resources there for everybody to live.
Right. Right.
You know. And
So true.
on the
So
last day
true.
that I was there, they started having white families come in, and this one white
Mm.
family came in, and he testified that his son was in a social club, and some black people came in and threw some grenades in, and his son ended up, getting shrapnel in him and whatnot. And he has to take like 25 pills every day. And now he's not engaged like his friends are getting engaged and being married and whatnot. His son is sitting at home and taking this medicine. And so they asked him what he wanted them to do to remedy it. And he said, well, I want you to find the people who did it, try them, convict them, and execute them.
Mm.
So you can see the two differences in
Yeah.
mentalities, the way people think and what they wanted to happen. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, I
Right.
just had to get up and leave. You know, I sat through 4 or 5 days of black people testifying, and every last one of them came up there and said they just want to know why you had to act the way you did.
Was that
And
the Truth and Reconciliation?
yes, yes,
And who headed that? Was that what? Is that the one by Desmond Tutu?
yes, yeah, yeah. Him and Nelson Mandela put it together.
Hmm.
So we're gonna try and do one here and see if this government will do the same.
Yes. After this COVID, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully, we come out of it a lot more united and a lot more together, and people on the same page than before we went in. I
I
mean,
love
all
that
these.
because for a couple of reasons, Kazi, you're saying that for those of you who have loved ones in my audience who have passed, right? And we have passed at more numbers than others, the African Americans, because of Eucentrics, which is the reason that they, took us into slavery, because of the hospitalizations that didn't want to keep and take care of us, because of racism. So what Kazi is saying, October 2021, is they planning for having us in a space where you come talk about your loved one. I know some people on this program, Kelly, my prayers for him and his brother, who was a friend of mine who passed, coming and testifying to why this was unjust for us to suffer, right? And then this Truth and Reconciliation will be headed by your group, by Jericho. Is that correct?
Yes.
I love this. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's unite. Let's bring about as much
Yes.
unity as we can. Let's keep you know our spirit and our people alive, man. You know, I really, I really think that we need to free the land, free the man, and get on with it. All power to the people. I don't know. You seem to be frozen, and yeah, I think it's gone, Pico. You know, see.
Okay, I'll even come back. Wait, here's the chat.
What do you say?
Oh no, she dropped.
Huh?
Oh no, she dropped.
Hey, I'm sorry that we got disconnected. We do have Kazi still. Hi, come on. This is Kazi's. Yes, come on over so we can see you. We got disconnected, and that's okay. Um, can you make sure that your father is on there for us? Okay. We lost some, and I hear it's still the static. Hopefully that's changed it. Oh, cool. Can you hear me still? Good. So, Kazi, is he coming back for us right now? Okay. So in this meantime, I want you all to come and put in the chat. I've put some information in into the YouTube just to keep you all up to date on what we're saying. We're asking you all to not only go to the JerichoMovement.com, we're asking you to mobilize in the cities that you're in. Why? Because we do have a way we can memorialize those that have passed. There is a way that we can change the system in the Black liberation context of those that are right now the movement that we're fighting to abolish the prisons and to free, as we already mentioned, Sundiata and others. I'm going to have the last words from Kazi here, if we can put him on the main screen, and then we're going to go to the slides on some of the other prisoners we've already had on the platform. But yes, Kazi, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's coming in scratchy and broke up.
We can hear you though. So
you can hear me all right? You
yes,
can hear me all right?
We can hear you.
Cool. Well, I'm sorry about that a minute ago. I'm getting kind of old. Nature called, you know. Hey, so, huh?
No, you tried me. I know.
So look, my brother, my brother, he's doing well. He's doing well. He's at my mother's with my mother and my sister, and yeah, he got out after 48 and a half years. He got out that in October. He was freed. He got out in April, but he was freed in October. Yeah. So I mean, you know, we have to have more of that, just like Jaleel, and we need to get Matulu. Matulu is real sick too, just like Maroon. Maroon's sick. Yeah, yeah. Jaleel came out, and they're trying to attack him and trying to put him back in. They are attacking him off some really phony voter registration stuff. Right around election time, you know, when you come out and they have you sign a lot of papers when you're signing up to get your license and to get your ID and to get food stamps and things like that. And one of them is to register to vote. Well, in New York, it's against the law for prisoners to vote. They have to get a pardon to be able to vote. So one of the pieces of paper he signed was to vote, but he never voted. You know, he never. I can't hear you, Lita, at all. I can't. You know, but he never voted it anyway. So they got the cases open, and we're trying to. We put. That's why we pushed the date for the class to start February 9th, because the case is still open, and they're trying to take him back to jail after 49 years, almost a half a century. They lock people up in this country, you know, and people should stop and think about that. Somebody being in a cage the size of your bathroom for 50 years, you know, that's cruel and unusual punishment. Violation of the Eighth Amendment, man. But anyways, that's if we Matulu is he had COVID too. He recovering from COVID with, and he's getting stem cell transplant while he has a bone cancer. You know, he got bone cancer, getting stem cell treatment, and he got COVID, and he's still up. And it's ridiculous, man. You know, when we see people like Roger Stone, and that they just let that General Kelly go, and the other general there that pleaded guilty, what was his name, Mitchell? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, back to our people. You know, Matulu's still locked up and suffering, and Maroon Schultz is stage 4 prostate cancer. All these people have been locked up over 30 years, man. You know? I can't hear you. Oh, man. I'm sorry I can't hear you, Lee. I'm sorry I can't hear what you're saying, but listen, I'm gonna end up now. I hope people, you know, Kwanzaa's been good, you know, and I like this program that you put on tonight, Lee, and I thank
And all these things that we're doing during Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is essential. We must liberate together. We must learn the international global perspective of what Kazi is doing and Jericho by bringing in a what is it? The Truth and Reconciliation that happened in Africa. He did that with Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, and they're bringing it to this country. Why? Who is going to mourn for our lost family members during COVID? We're the ones dying. Who's going to mourn for the many times I've watched YouTube videos of mostly white nurses saying they're killing them on purpose? They purposely are not going into their rooms because they're Black. They're purposely not supporting them because they're Black. They're purposely, we know the narrative, but we must stay strong together. We must not pretend like we see, hear, or say no evil, but we know that, just like Mamiya said, the collective conscious means that what they're showing on media is not real. Millions of dollars, billions of dollars are going into military. And we do not talk about the elections or anything on this platform because it's about us on this platform. It's about what we need to do together. And so the collective consciousness means, yes, we want you to connect in with nonprofits, but more importantly, these liberation leaders, and I'm going to name some of the ones that I had not put a profile up. I'll do it tomorrow. Jalil, Matulu, Maroon Schultz. Let's have our first slide also. Those political prisoners haven't been talked about. Yes, here's Imam that came on for Kujichagulia. And as you can see, we have a place where you can do commissary for his funds, how to write Mamiya, and how to join the Ajan organization. The book, Revolution of the Book. These are things that are real. These are what happened. Again, just to remind you, Imam Jamil is H. Rap Brown. Let's put your fist up. And what did he bring us? Call and response. Power to the people. He came up with that. Power to the people when we said, let our voices be heard. So just like you tried the Swahili words, let's try that again. Power to the people. Can I hear y'all say that? Do I trust that you're going to try it out? Putting your fists up in the air, which is a freedom thing, right? Let's see the next slide. It's important that you learn from the elder that I just had with me. And the next slide after this, which is Mamiya, hopefully. It shows Mamiya. I hope that this one is the People's Movement Assembly, and I'll mention it since we have it up there, but this is how we're having the process through the 2021, through the National Black Liberation groups that are going to come together, unified during this time to memorialize, like Jericho's going to do in October 2021, but to have movement assemblies so that way those of us that know this information can teach the nonprofits that, again, are just giving money to whoever's savvy and have come out of college, right? Not to say that there aren't liberation leaders in these nonprofits, but the reason why Kazi and Matulu and Maroon Schultz and Imam and Jalil and all of them have been incarcerated is because they were our leaders. And just like we know of what happened to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they've gotten rid of our leaders. If they didn't kill them, yes, they put them in prison. And that is why we're freeing them, because we need them here to educate so that all nonprofits that are usually doing liberation, social justice work, right? Remember, there's a difference even between activism and organizing. We can be on the same page. We can be in the dialogue so you'll know why. Oh, that's why they're not teaching this in schools. That's why these college professors dispute with us against our history, because we're not teaching ourselves. We're no longer the ones in the communities. Black flight has happened. We've wanted to be closer to communities where it's, not as much trauma, right, as we say, but we can build the mechanisms. The parable of the sower, which is the logo you'll see at the corner, is building not only products and services such as Black Trauma Anonymous, where we sit for those of you all in NA and AA, Alcoholic Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, we sit as a people in circles, 2021, and deal with our trauma. No, we're not all going to be therapists and, sound medical professions, although I did work at the National Institute of Health, right? We started this because we saw that the importance of NA and AA was not because they have the degree, bachelor's, master's, associates. It's because they came together and through an autonomy, being anonymous says so much. You don't gossip, right? The reason why we gossip so much during slavery was they wanted to divide us. Right? And that's what they use in the tools. If we really to talk about the Bible, how they use that during slavery, it was to divide us. So the more they know we gossip about each other, they know we won't be coming collective consciously, like Mamiya said. So our groups, BTA, Black Trauma Anonymous, and the Black Life Alert, and all these things that Jericho was mentioning, will be doing people's movement assemblies to sit and talk with each other, not just nonprofits. No way are we going to have a mayor and presidents and all these government officials in the front of the meeting and having us listen to them. It's time for a circular democratic process like the Universidad Sin Fronteras, University Without Walls, like the World Social Forum and the U.S. Social Forum, and the meetings that Kazi went to with Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, where we sit, we're in charge. The people, not being fed through the media to program us and erase and give us amnesia on what's really happened in this country, but for us to be reminded of who we are, whose we are, how our ancestors carry us, how we're going to follow through and keep that mindfulness practice, just like Vilamasara taught us, to keep down and calm when we have to talk about the trauma. But more importantly, the BTA and the Black Trauma Anonymous and these convenings are so that we can have a collective consciousness. That despite our woundedness, those that make a lot of money, maybe our artists, right? Harry Belafonte and all them were all freedom fighters, but they had a lot of money coming. That's why they helped the movement. You know, Beyonce and Jay-Z had to find that out from Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte said to Jay-Z and Beyonce, wait a minute, you're not giving money to the movement. And they had an attitude. And the truth was, we, as the liberation leaders in this country, had to say, no, listen, you are responsible and held accountable with all the money you make as artists for the movement. And that is why Kilpernick has supported Mamiya, and others are finally getting educated to do the same. So the artists will be there, but the politicians, if they come in, they're not there to say something about their political things if we let them in, because they really shouldn't be there until after we meet. But encampment, homeless, youth in prison, when we talked about freeing the moms, Black mamas, educators, yes, if you're not coming from just the school, but you're coming from a community such as doing the work to free our people. We want to hear from those that have been wrongly accused, right? And we want to see those whose parents and children have suffered because of their parents and their family and loved ones have passed during Corona and the uprising. And we are family. So there's Mamiya. And as you can see, Kopernik is on there, as I mentioned. And as Kazi had mentioned, they were young together, brothers in this movement, and still are here. So we need them. And nonprofits need to know, it's great you gave all the money you could give during Corona, but that was not what we needed. You needed to put that money aside and give it to the organizations that have been around, like these, giving to political prisoners, these agencies, so that we can convene. And we are glad that mutual aid happened. As I mentioned before, mutual aid is what happened after slavery. So we're not saying don't give any money. But when you give it to nonprofits, what you're saying is nonprofits have been mostly done by people that have come through college, that aren't maybe always with political liberation movements. They give money to Black organizations that may not all know of the liberation movements that came out of Africa or even that are still present. For those elders, we know that, as Jericho Jihad mentioned, they're struggling. We don't expect white do-gooders and helpers that want to really alleviate their whiteness, right, in giving funding, right? We know that you don't have the answers, but we don't want you to think that nonprofit is the only way. We're transforming through unions and cooperatives, and we need it to be accountable. And so that's why we have the democratic processes. And that is why we teach through books like Collective Courage. So I mentioned it again. So yes, let's go to the next slide. Because of purpose and Kazi telling all the information on what they're doing, we can now, I think, according to our next part in this is the PMA. The next part of our discussion. And since Kazi is gone and I don't see any, let's see, I think I do have one comment. We've been hoping for more comments. So what I do know about us during Zoom is a lot of us don't reveal ourselves, not our face. Don't speak in a room because we can hide like this. Let me show you. Hide our faces to not be seen. And we want to love each and every one of you. This is Kwanzaa. We used to sing a song in Camp Pumziko, at peace, always ready to defend. And it's, look at, let's say, Kazi, because he just came. Look at Kazi, he's black and beautiful. Look at Kazi, he's black and beautiful. And if it's a child, we'll say, he's growing up black and strong. New African all day long. He's growing up black and strong. He's black and beautiful. So yes, we want y'all to reveal your faces. We understand the fear and paranoia that happens. So, what happens is that paranoia is a sense from people not feeling comfortable that the government may infiltrate or attack us anyway. I don't see Kazi there. Is Kazi still here? But the next, the 8 steps that I see from a comment, for those of you who are, there's Kazi. Oh, we've got everyone here. Perfect. I don't see any comments, but I do see, for those of you that want to show your faces on Facebook, make the comments into the chat. It says here 8 steps. Yes, fantastic. Great listening. But I don't see any comments. I don't even see anyone asking any questions. And that's what we're doing with the People's Movement Assembly. So we're going to do it with Villa Masara and Kazi right now. Round robin is basically how we democratically go round in a circle. We'll start with Villa Masara and then Kazi. And we'll talk about a solution for purpose, the 3 of us. And if more people want to add anything in the chat, we will add this in the discussion. So, Villa Masara, do you have an idea of what this exercise is about? You would say something to start off and no one talks while you're talking, and then Kazi will do the same, and then I will. And this is called the People's Movement Assembly process, Universidad Sin Fronteras, University Without Walls. So, Villa Masara, on purpose, what is your statement that we should do together for 2021? And then it will. And you may be muted.
We need to unite as Black people. We need to come together as a Black nation. We need to come together from all over the world and be one. We need to let go of all the things that divide us and focus on what brings us together. And we need to unite together so that we can end the mass incarceration. As you have said, slavery still continues. It's just different. Okay, we're still incarcerated. They're still killing us. They're still doing public lynching. Okay, so we need to come together to stop these atrocities against our people throughout the world. And lastly and finally, we need to stop killing each other. We need to investigate, why are we killing each other? This is a legacy of the slavery, and we need to put it down. We need to stop being victims and rather be victimized. We're victimized but not victims. Let's stop killing each other. Yeah, we love each other. Praise the Lord. Praise. Yeah. Come together and unite. That's me. Ashe.
All right. Reach out.
Ashe. Yes. All right. Kazi, you're next. Let's have you come on, please. If we can get Kazi on here. And if we can't get him, that's fine as well. I think we did have, thank you, Villa Masara. Those are some of the things you should ponder. We are talking about, she said a lot on that as far as what we need. I'm going to change this ticker now to the People's Movement Assembly. And if there's questions, I'm going to see if, since Villa Masara is here, maybe she can answer some of them. But we still didn't get any questions. So, hey, Facebook and YouTube, we see that people are listening, but we haven't had questions. And that's why, like I mentioned, we need your voices we need you all to be present. We need you all to come through and not just watch. We're not only a people to entertain and to be on stage, right? This is our time to dialogue with each other. This is the only way we'll be able to go forward, is to know that that entertainment or performing is just a mechanism for us to heal. In the village of Africa, they danced and on the fire and performed and sing and did. It wasn't the only thing. So if no one has any questions on what we just had from our sister, there was someone here. Someone says, be curious.
I wrote that.
Oh, that was you. I've been reading those. Well, thank you for participating twice. That's great. Cassie said a lot. What were some of the things that you take from that message also, from what he said? I'm curious.
You know, what I take from his message is that there are still many of our people who are incarcerated, and we need to do something about it. We need to be speaking up. We need to be speaking out. I mean, the one thing that I really felt was when he said he was in South Africa, part of that Congress, part of the people who went together, and the question was, why did you do this to our people? Why did you do this to our people? Why? And I can answer it. It's like they try to prove that we weren't even human. I always say the difference between us and indigenous people, the two big differences. Indigenous people were colonized and enslaved on their own lands. Okay, they were taken to residential schools. They were taken to reserves, and it was thought that they could actually take the Indian out of the Indian. They could take the Aboriginal out of the Aboriginal. But with us black people, they didn't think they could take the African out of the African. They just said we were subhuman. We weren't even human. There was no hope from us. And this eugenics theory about the skulls and, you know, who has the bigger skull and who has the smaller skull, and we're like animals and we're like chimpanzees. Where on earth did this come from? Yeah, what it says to me that we were once rulers of the world. When I went to Egypt, I had kids running up to me. I was their Nubian princess coming home. And when I saw what we were capable in Egypt, and you know, they hate the fact that black people had wisdom, because, you know, I can remember when I was in the education system and you looked at the map of Africa, Egypt was missing. Even Morocco, it was like, where's Egypt, man? Where's Egypt? And yet, when you go to Egypt and you see the first astrological signs, symbols, that was from the Nubians. The Nubians were black. They were black Africans. Okay, so you know what I take from that is that actually white people are scared of black people. That's what white supremacy is about. They're scared. And you know, when Obama became president, white men became even more scared, which is why we had Trump, the backlash, yeah, because white people are gradually losing their position in the world. We must remember everything changes. Once upon a time, at the beginning of the 19th century, England, this little island England ruled the world. This little island England enslaved masses, parts of Africa. This little island England. What's England now? England's a dot in the ocean, you know, and things will change. America will not always be ruling the world. White people are not ruling the world. In fact, we see nations like China coming up. Yes, things change. And you know what must change? The thing that must change, they must stop killing us. Yeah, they must stop killing us because we are black. They must stop weaponizing our body. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. So I am going to, can you hear me? Ashe. That was wonderful. So because you and I have a day that we do our mindfulness practice today, I wanted you to share what we can teach this night. And that is, hold on, some music and dance. If you can hear that, feel free, you all. This is a song everyone should know. And this is my dance partner on Zooms. Find some friends you can just move with. I'm going to say where you're going. And dance. It's a celebration time. No, you're doing that on purpose. Okay. Why? Because we must feel the joy. Togetherness to share. First fruits of the year. Y'all know who this is. This is Teddy Pendergrass. Celebration.
It's all right. It's a celebration.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. I'm gonna see if I can do a little dance class real quick. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Celebration. The food that fills our soul is what Teddy Pendergrass talks about. Teach them well, the hopes and dreams. Yes. Join the party. It's a celebration. Karambu at Kwanzaa time is coming up. It's a celebration. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa, Villa Masara.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa.
You fulfilled your purpose.
Happy. So everyone can say Kaumba.
Kaumba.
Imani. Have you tried it out? Yeah, we got to practice, Villa Masara. Umoja. There you go. A few other principles. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. It's a celebration. Hey! Moms, dad, and sisters. Hey! Don't miss it. Recite a principle and say what it means to you.
Purpose.
Umoja, Pujichagalia, Nia, Ujama, Ojima, Happy Kwanzaa. This is what Kwanzaa is about. It's us remembering. We don't have to sit in a concert. Remember, you don't have to sit in a Kwanzaa concert and not move. The first thing that we learned is that we usually do not move our bodies because the Western culture has taught us to downplay who we are. We bring jazz and dance to this country. So when you are in spaces that aren't even ours, move to the beat. That proves you have the spirit and the soul of your motherland. Don't feel uncomfortable. When you see someone on the street and they're Black, look at each other's eyes and greet them. When you are in a space at the school, and even if they're with, all white people, give them some type of, how we do, give them that light to say, I recognize you, I see you, so bueno, which means we're connected. I forget exactly the terminology, but it means that I see you. So this is Kwanzaa. We're teaching, hopefully, that time to relax. The purpose, as I showed you right now, was just move with your body. Be freed up. And we can't always do that in our suits if you have to wear them in your jobs, but you can connect with someone else. If you are in a city and you walk by a homeless man in an encampment, you should recognize and greet him, because his destiny is not just in that one time in space in a homeless shelter. Hopefully we are going to be able to end that. But until that, we got to let them know that they're family. If you see a busload of those in a prison van, greet them, give them the look. This is the year 2021. People have all lost friends and family. So in hospitals, in the streets, we're required on Zoom calls, of course, we're trying to learn to connect in and touch each other and hold hands and all this stuff we do. But when you get back into this place, bring yourself to a newness where you connect with the family. Don't let the division of, they don't look like they have the means, and I'm middle class and upper middle class, and that looks like a person in hip hop or homeless. I can't talk to them. Change your ways. Find the collective consciousness where that is a Black person, connect in with them. Smile. Find that place where you may change and transform someone's life. You're at a performance and everyone's tight and not moving or clapping or responding. Yeah, move. Yeah. Say, yeah, I say. Give them that energy. That's what artists want. Even in a room full of speakers, you can applaud by saying, yes, Ashe. We do call and response. Don't let this system change you. We're hoping that you've learned a lot from us. I'm going to, right now with this, because we have right on time, the last of the slides that we're going to show, just to remind you of the purpose of those that are not here with us. So with that first slide, we're going to say that one more time. Now that we have had our PMA with Vilma Sara and Kaizi, although we had no responses, we expect you all to respond, and we will make sure to bring these to organizations that are on the ground. Video is ready, so I am going to do the Harambe's first. Not that video. The video we're going to show is of the last video of our freedom fighter. Let's see. I think the video that we're supposed to show is under 4 minutes, the ending drum and music. Yeah, so let's do our Harambes together. As you all remember, Harambe means let's pull together. So put your hand up, pull it down, and we do that for 7 times, like 7 candles, which means Saba in Swahili. And on the last one, we pull it down and we let it out, Harambe. So we'll do that together. Are you ready? Harambe, 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 Harambe. Thank you for joining us another day of our 7 days healing Kwanzaa, liberation, and cultural celebration. Tomorrow we have none other for that day than Asada Shakur with the Hands Off Asada group and another mindfulness practitioner. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. While we are setting up this video, just wanted you to know that this is Kwanzaa featuring Pierce Freelon, I think is his name. It's a happy Kwanzaa song for kids and families that came out, I believe, this year. So as soon as I get the cue that this song you all can hear me, I will begin.
Check. All right, how about your dashiki? You know it, bro. And your hotep manual. Did you bring that? You know what, King? Man, it's Kwanzaa, what you gon' do? Sitting with my family, chill with the crew. We gon' share gifts, you don't have to spend loot. We celebrate culture, our African roots. This Kwanzaa, what you gon' do? Sitting with my family, chill with the crew. We gon' share gifts, you don't have to spend loot. We celebrate culture, our African roots. On December 26th, goodbye Saint Nick. I light a black candle. Look, ooh, it's lit. First day of Kwanzaa. Umoja means unity. Ain't messing with my clique. Melanated, check the drip. Self-determination is the mantra. Constant elevation like the Haitians when they conquered their colonizers. Like a real life Wakanda. True believers. Day 2, that's Kujichagulia. Ujima, day 3. Responsibility. Let's put in that work together. By the block, clean the streets. Collectively connected like the constellations. Plant a seed, watch it grow, reach. Spend your black dollars on black business. Your black descendants, they hustle for your black children. A black trillion, that's how much black spending. Ujama, economics is how blacks will win. Lord willing. On the 5th day of Kwanzaa with my family. Nia means purpose, build our legacy. Rest in peace, Rebecca Jones, matriarchy. Continue the work, Fannie Lou Hamer passed to me. Hey, Kuwomba, yeah, you know what that means. Creativity, you know what that brings? Full pockets, yeah, you know I like greens. I get paid every time I write things in my inner light beams. Day 7, all the candles lit on a Kanara. Imani means faith in a better tomorrow. Joy over sorrow, equity over equal. The kids are our future leaders. We believe in all our people. Black women that shape the human race. Meet your maker, Queen Mother, we appreciate. You are sacred. You are Harriet. You are Ella Baker. You're a maker. You're a manifester, a creator. It's Kwanzaa, what you gon' do? Spend with my family, chill with the crew. We don't share gifts, you don't have to spend loot. We celebrate culture, our African roots. This Kwanzaa, what you gon' do? Spend with my family, chill with the crew. We don't share gifts, you don't have to spend loot. We celebrate culture, our African roots. Thank you for watching. You can
Habaragani,
free Kwanzaa worksheet on my
we are thankful for having us. Habaragani, and have a wonderful Kwanzaa time.
It's a holiday, come on, celebrate and rejoice. It's Kwanzaa, spreading unity in our families and communities. Kwanzaa, because our legacy makes us so strong. Yeah, yeah. So let us come together to celebrate this season of Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. It's time to celebrate and lose no sour on this day. Roja, Fuji Chapali, Jiva, Ujama, Nia, that is what we need. We gather around today to reflect upon our past. We've come so far, remembering all of those who came before us. Kwanzaa, from Rosa to Malcolm to Dr. King and Turner. Yeah, from the war to Ashanti. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's a holiday, come on, celebrate and rejoice. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's a holiday, come on, celebrate and rejoice. It's Kwanzaa, spreading unity in our families and communities. Kwanzaa, because our legacy makes us so strong. Yeah. So let us come together to celebrate this season of Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. It's time to celebrate and lose no sour on this day. We got Roja, Fuji Chapali, China, Ujama, Mia, Imani. That is what we need. We gather around today to reflect upon our past. We've come so far, remembering all of those who came before us. Kwanzaa, from Rosa to Malcolm to Dr. King and Turner. Yeah, from Dubois to Ashanti, we honor you on Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. Yeah. Time to celebrate. On this day, we got Roja, Roja, Chakalia, Ujama, Jama, that is what we need. Shine bright, we're It is Kwanzaa. Oh, oh. It is Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. Yeah. Time to celebrate. Yeah. On this day. On this day. We need unity. Self-determination. Let's work in economic opportunity. Yeah. This is what we need. And creativity. This is what we really need. More this is what we really need. Could you take a look? Could you take a look? Celebration. Celebration. The first day of Kwanzaa, we call it Umoja. Unity, unity. The second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichagulia, self-determination. The third day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujamaa, cooperative economics. The fifth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Nia, purpose, purpose. I have a purpose. The sixth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kuumba, creativity, creativity. The last day of Kwanzaa, we say Imani, that's what we call Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Celebration.
Okay. Is it over?